Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Working Trader, where we look at the EUR/USD and GBPUSD and come up with trade ideas for the day. So jumping right into it, today is a Tuesday, and we have JOLTS job openings, high impact news at 3 p.m. So that is the only news we have for the US dollar. So let's jump right into the charts. So this is what we have. Alright, so price has been coming down, okay, and then we've come up, mitigated the supply, and then price is continuing to be bearish. So we could be targeting these lows. Okay, we've already swept these lows. We have a bit of a reaction internally or on the lower time frames. So we could continue, or we could see price continue to drop. Okay, so the narrative is still bearish. That's what we have. And then on the pound, likewise, swing is still bullish. Okay, now this demand has failed, which was still holding. So now that has completely failed, and then we still have this demand at the bottom there. That is our extreme demand, which has not been mitigated. So we can expect price to continue dropping, maybe until it mitigates this area of demand. Okay, or now that it has taken this previous day low, okay, this low from a previous day, now it is likely that maybe it has enough liquidity for it to now switch bullish and continue going bullish. But as it stands, supply is still in control, and price looks to want to keep dropping at least until we mitigate this extreme. Okay, so that's on the daily. And then let's look at the EUR/USD on the 4-hour. So looking at the 4-hour, this is our current range. That's what we're interested in. This is our current range. Boom, boom. Demand has failed, and this demand is likely going to fail. And then we'll have this extreme, which has already been mitigated, but also recognizing that this is a weak low. Okay, this is a weak low. So now we have full alignment. Okay, we have broken structure. So now our internal is shifted bearish. So now we have our swing and our internal, which are both bearish. So we have our external range and our internal range fully aligned. So that means shorts are the way to go. Okay. All right. So what can we see? What can we see? So obviously this has been eliminated, and this is still holding for the time being. Okay. But what has happened is we've created relative equal lows, so that should be resting liquidity that is likely going to be taken. So I'm going to make that visible on lower time frames as well. Okay, so the expectation is for that to be taken, and then we have a weak low to target as well. Right, so looking on the 15-minute. Okay, on the 15-minute, this is what we have. Okay, so of course we do have so we do have this area of demand, which is at the extreme, which led to this internal break of structure, and then we've been having that bullish pullback. Okay, at this point I feel, well, not I feel, but I see that it is likely going to fail. So our internal is shifted bearish. This is our internal on the 15-minute. So 15-minute, we have our IBOS, and then this week has become our internal strong. And then this level of liquidity was respected. This trend line at the top is continued to be respected. And then we have taken out that, and then we've created relative equal lows. Okay, so expectation is price is going to continue bearish. So this is what we see right now. So obviously we missed the trade yesterday, at least the way I was looking at price did not come back up into this area. Okay, it simply had a sweep during Asia, and after that just melted. Okay, and right now this is a similar thing that's happening. So we have a sweep. However, we haven't had any break of structure. So 15-minute. See, boom. Okay. So looking at this, looking at the details, what can we see? Okay, this is our high, that is our low. We broke structure. Okay. So we have a break of structure. Boom. Okay, so that's our range. We have come into let's see. That's the top of our range. That's the bottom of our range. We have gone past equilibrium, mitigated our premium, and reacting from this area right there. Okay. And is that valid? Yes, it is, because that swept these areas right there. Okay, so this is indeed a very strong area of supply. Swept, mitigated, and now price is reacting bearish. Of course, we do have on the bullish side, price has broken our internal range. Okay, and prices come up. We had a sweep, come down. This is a strong area. But we can see that this is relative equal lows. Okay. Yes, we've had a shallow sweep in order for price to push up like that. But because it's a shallow sweep, I'm going to expect price to revisit the area and possibly take it out, and also because it's the Asia low. Okay. So so right now this is what we have. So I'm thinking, well, we know that shorts is the way to go. Right now we've already mitigated, so whether we're going to come back up again, possibly not. All right, so we're likely going to come down, eliminate these areas of supply. Take out these areas of liquidity, which are clear and obvious. Okay, and then maybe after that price might continue bearish, or price might then shift bullish. Okay, So right now, possibly it might be just a waiting game. All right. If you're feeling inclined, then you might take a risk entry from here, targeting these lows, or simply wait for these lows to be taken and then see if we get any reaction to the upside, and then possibly target anywhere towards the midpoint of Asia, or even this top. Okay, but ideally just targeting 3 to 1. Okay, so right now that's what I can see. Nothing very clear. Okay, except that we know that we're bearish, but price could still push up. Okay, even come up to these areas as well. Okay, it's a possibility as well. Okay. So let's look at the pound, starting at the 4-hour. Starting on the 4-hour. So boom, that's our range. Okay, and we've had our break of structure. Okay, and we knew that this was our weak area, and now we've had a 4-hour IBOS. Okay, and then this trend line liquidity has been taken. Okay, after break of structure, we do expect a pullback to kick in. We do expect a pullback to kick in, so it could start now, all right, or price could still continue going down. All right, so all these areas, they've been eliminated. Okay, and then we do know that we have this daily area at the bottom. Okay, so that's been eliminated now, no longer of relevance. Okay, that applies to holding. So looking left, do we have anything interesting? I'm going to mark out these areas, or these swing points. Okay, so this one has already been swept, and then we do have this one as well. So these are areas of liquidity. Alright, so this one has already been taken and price is reacting. Okay, so this is our decisional. Okay, that's our decisional. Boom, that's our high. Boom. Okay, so this has done its job and respected, and then this is our range high. Okay, so this is the current leg that we're in now. Okay, come on. Okay, so boom, this is the range that we're in. Boom. Okay, so within this range, what do we have? So this is no longer relevant, that's used up. But we had a sweep. Okay, we've had a sweep like that. And then obviously we are still in discount. Okay, so at least we may want to see if price will come up to these areas of premium, but you see there's no clear levels. All right, there are no clear levels. Everything has been tested, mitigated, all imbalances have been filled, so there's nothing to really look at on this time frame. Okay, so let's jump onto the 15-minute. Let's jump onto the 15-minute. And okay, so this area, so we had our break of structure. Let's see what we have. Alright, so let me do a bit of cleanup. So that is my 15-minute swing. Swing break of structure. Right there. And then that's been taken. That's taken. Okay. So all of these areas no longer relevant. Okay. So we had our break of structure from a swing, and then this is our swing high. Okay, that's my swing high. This is getting longer than I wanted it to be. Okay, so that's my swing high. Alright, and then internally we are bearish, and then internally this is the range that we're in. From here, boom, boom. Okay, so internal, just gonna do that. So internal, that's our internal range strong, and right now this is our internal range weak. Okay, but we know that after a break of structure we expect price to pull back. Okay, so we expect price to pull back, and price is doing exactly that. Okay, so we had our break of structure. Okay, and then now we've had a pullback. Now price looks to be bullish internal within this range. Okay, and then we expect, so let's see our range, boom, like that. Let's just do current and below. Alright, so that's our range, and then price has mitigated our equilibrium and into our premium, and we do have this level, which is our decisional. Okay, which price has mitigated and has given a reaction. Okay. Alright, so prior to that we had that. Okay, so we had this relative equal highs, boom, boom. Okay, that was swept. So 15M. Okay, those were swept. Okay, swept, and then made a lower low, and then tested, and then continued price lower. Okay, so obviously that happened yesterday. Yesterday we were expecting price to come up to mitigate at least this area, or at least come up and sweep this area before we start looking for shorts, and that didn't happen because price had already swept those Friday highs, and I missed those. Okay, so price had already taken the liquidity that it needed and just dropped from there. Okay, so anyway, this is the range that we're in right now. So price has come back to premium, mitigated EQ, and we've had a reaction. Okay, we've had a reaction. So this is the decisional. If price doesn't continue bearish, then this would be the extreme. I'm just going to cover everything. Okay. Alright, so then that would be the extreme. So price. Alright, so right now, price has already mitigated this area, so price could just drop, okay, towards the towards this weak internal low, okay, because remember, swing is bearish, internal is bearish, everything is aligned. Price has pulled back up to premium, okay, the decisional, and just given off a reaction, and so it could just continue, right? Check out this week low. If price decides to come up, check this out, then maybe we may expect price to mitigate this area before we look for shorts. Okay, so right now, high probability obviously is to wait for shorts or is to look for any reason to jump for shorts. Okay, counter trend longs will not be high probability because right now you'll be fighting against the internal trend as well as the swing trend. Okay, so those are my ideas for today. Not much clarity except that fine we are bearish, so it will be just a matter of looking maybe to jump in right now, you know, and take a shot at the current price action. Right, so otherwise, please, if you find value in this material, don't forget to like and to subscribe, and let me know in the comments how you are using this material. And yes, I've seen a bit of some people asking questions about if I can do a video on market structure, maybe just explaining market structure. So we'll see how many people are interested, and let me know in the comments, and then the more people are interested, then I'll be able to make time to do that. Okay, so otherwise, have a good day, and Working Trader out.